friends. So I think I'm doing my first Romain solo song, right? I did the busking one of him doing Georgia on My Mind, which was beautiful. So this is my first song of his that's like written by him by himself with a fully produced music video, it looks like. Doing Turn the Lights Down. I know I had a bunch of different Romain songs that are on my little wheel of reactions to do. This is just the first one that popped up. And yeah, let's go. Okay. Right away I remember this because I've seen Ren's chapter videos that he did on his side channel talking about like his kind of story and all that, and I remember this being how he introduced Romain when he spoke of him entering his life. It was with this song, and for some reason it never occurred to me this was obviously for a music video. I like it. I like that it sounds kind of almost White Stripesy. That's so funny. I'm just like, wait, I know this beat. Oh, I remember it from that video. Okay, hang on. Let's try again.
Let's see what's inside of your skin. Stay still, I'll free you of all your sins. Yes, please. Let me.
Oh, it's a vampire one? I love vampires. I love vampire stories. I think they're fun. I was thinking, the whole thing was happening. I'm like, oh, his nails are so pretty. And I saw the teeth. I'm like, wait a minute. With candles, I think we have vampire, which like, I'll believe Romain's a vampire. Totally checks out. Fully makes sense, especially for what I said last time, where it's like, if you told me he was in his 40s or in his like late teens, I would believe either one of them. Maybe it's because he's a vampire. No, I think that like, look, Film Nerd Reacts. I'm gonna babble about films for a minute. Of course, now I got about vampire films. I love vampire movies. In high school, in this weird period where I watched like everyone I could get my hands on, and I at the time was like, I've seen every vampire film, not knowing that like, no, I haven't. I haven't seen like even a 10th of the amount of vampire films out there, especially foreign language ones. They're everywhere. I think that's really cool. I think more than any other traditional, say, movie monsters, I think vampires are the most interesting that they can symbolize such a vast amount of things. Whereas I love werewolves, but werewolves for the most part tend to represent the same kind of thing, whether it's buried male aggression, or even things like ginger snaps. It's basically transformation and transition in a person, or buried rage or aggression in a person. It's something hidden coming out. Whereas with vampires, it can be so many different things. I mean, like, it's sometimes treated as a disease in films. It's sometimes treated as, like, something sexy, something scary. A lot of times, like, representing, like, fears of other, tends to be, like, a mysterious, rich European man. For, Eastern European man, this kind of, like, there's an otherness to them. You can delve into, especially American films doing that with sort of xenophobia and all that jazz. But I just think it could be so many. I've seen so many different kinds of vampire films that are in so many different subgenres of. I've seen family films like that, and comedies and romances and gore films and action films and all kinds. I think of any, maybe, I guess maybe zombies would be close to it, but I think zombies has become that way slowly. Vampires, I just feel like, can fit into any genre they want to, and I think that's really fun. And I've seen, I mean, like, my favorite vampire film being, what is my favorite vampire film? I am a sucker for From Dusk Till Dawn. It's just a fun-ass film. It's not even like the vampires are the main characters, but it's just a fun film. That and What We Do in the Shadows, of course. Near Dark is a big favorite of mine. One that I don't feel like gets enough love, but is a great sort of, kind of a romance film, kind of like has Western vibes. I dig the heck out of that movie. If we go for TV shows included, Interview with the Vampire, the television show, and Midnight Mass, that miniseries, I am truly obsessed with. Love that film. And then, you know, when it's treated like a disease, things like The Addiction from the 90s, was that Abel Ferrara, I can't remember. In the 1990s, a movie called Addiction, which was very much played on it being sort of like a disease. Same with the Nick Cage movie Vampire's Kiss. I unironically love that film. Come at me, why don't you? It is hilarious. And if you ever see any type of montage of Nick Cage's worst film moments as far as acting goes, 100% on there. Him saying the ABC is one of the most batshit things I've ever seen in my life. Him screaming with fake vampire teeth in his mouth, shouting, "I'm a vampire," running down the street. Or him crying, and his version of crying is just saying boo-hoo. That movie also kicks ass. Okay? Come at me. It's the American Psycho of vampire films. Or, you know, yes, a lot of times it's like a male is like the main vampire, but I like it when it's female. I like things like The Hunger, with which is a very sexy film, with Catherine Deneuve and David Bowie, and Sigourney Weaver, very sexy movie. Or Jacob's Wife, which is a big favorite of mine, where a woman who's like a little meek housewife of a priest ends up getting turned and kind of finds her power that way. I've babbled too much. I just want to say, love vampires, and hey, there's a list of vampire movies for you to check out, because they're great. And the fact that, again, I get frustrated with myself that I can rattle all those films off at the just slightest provocation of vampires, huh? And meanwhile, I don't know where anything in my life is at any given time. I think I know where my keys are. I'm not fully sure. It's just how my brain works. Anyway, back to the song. Look, you come because you actually clicked on a video. You either stay or leave for the film rants. There we go. I do love the way this is lit. Of course, I got to talk about that. The way that it's like, they've got this really nice light. Like, it makes it look like the candles are lighting the whole thing. It's like natural lighting. Obviously, there's probably, I was gonna say there might be other lighting, but we're probably dealing with a very low budget. It doesn't look it though. It looks really nice.
Yes, please.
Also, his voice sounds fantastic. I forgot to mention his voice. Oh my god. Love the falsetto. So beautiful. Oh, this sounds, yeah, this is a cool sounding song so far. And I've mentioned before, I think it's funny because I don't listen to a lot of, if I'm listening to music by people in countries that don't speak, from countries that don't speak English, I tend to be listening to music that's not in English, so it's interesting to hear that. It's very cool.
Red lips dripping off on your chin. Let's see what's inside of your skin. Stay still, I'll free you of all your sins. Yes, please. Let me give your soul a healing, a break free from the self-fulfilling. You'll thank me, you'll think you found a meaning, maybe.
He's singing this song that could be like potentially sort of seductive, as he's kind of just like, you're watching this guy sitting across from a potential future meal, just kind of like twitching a little bit, just like trying to stay in control but not doing a great job. And this, obviously, the scene of the vampire and the visitor tends to be in a lot of versions of Dracula and Nosferatu. We're getting the new Nosferatu soon. I have tickets to see it on Christmas Day. Merry Christmas. It also made me think of Andy Warhol's Dracula, which Andy Warhol's Blood for Dracula is a movie. Udo Kier is the greatest Dracula that's ever been. He's amazing, and his accent is truly otherworldly.
Maybe. We'll find in the night. And hide in the light.
I'm sure, I don't know if I've covered something that's had this kind of thing in it. I'm sure I probably have, but yeah, it's like, oh, that's a cool shot. It's this camera rig that people can wear. Usually they use it in films where it's like, so like that, someone's running for their lives or something. It's kind of like, it can show like a spike of adrenaline going from like normal shots to that. It's suddenly you're with the person, but not just like the camera following them, like making the camera physically attached to the actor. So the camera is moving with them. It's very disorienting. A lot of people will use it to illustrate someone being drunk or high or things like that. So it makes you, the viewer, feel like really out of it. But in this situation where it's probably just like a shot of adrenaline and this dude running for their lives, it is a really cool technique. As long as you use it for only a little bit of time. I've seen some films where they use it for way too long, and I'm like, hey, my guy, I get what you're going for. I'm going to be sick. Please stop it. But it can be really effective. I forget what the ring is called. Another great thing you can do is because it makes everything behind you, like around the person, look really out of focus. It can also, things like that with the cutting. I don't know where they're filming this, obviously, but if they had to use maybe like the same hallway several times, whether they did or didn't, what you could do with it is use the same hallway several times to walk down, but because you're cutting like that to different things, different facial expressions, and you can't really see the background, it makes you feel like you've been with the character this entire time, almost like it feels like a one-shot kind of a thing. But in reality, you could make a small amount of space seem a lot bigger by because you could just use the same hallway several times and pretend like it's many hallways, but it could literally just be him like walking, doing it, and then walking and doing it, so it can make a small space feel a lot bigger.
You won't find any space of your own in your mind or in every inch of your home. You can't hide. I mean, every one of your bones, don't try. There's no.
That was scary and kind of sexy. Get him. Get him, Romain. I'm never gonna eat him or fuck him or what, but get him. I love that line. Yeah, I'm in every one of your bones. That's such a good line. That's a really good line. And the, what was it?
Any space of your own in your mind.
You can't find any space of your own in your mind. It's such a great thing of like basically just taking over the entirety of the person's head. Reminds me of the first episode of Interview with the Vampire where Lestat's like projecting his thoughts into Louis, and Louis is like freaking out. Which if people haven't seen that show, they should. It's really good. I can't speak. I don't care for the movie. I don't remember enjoying the book, but it's been like over 20 years since I've seen the book, since I've read the book, so I can't speak for either of those. TV show though, fantastic.
Or in every inch of your home, you can't hide. I mean, every one of your bones, don't try. There's no light where my demons are grown. Say goodbye to all the good things you've known. You and I will never want to be alone from now. We're Friday night.
Yeah, usually it would be the brides of Dracula. Could just be his buddies. Or his ladies, or his sisters, who knows. But I love the flashing lights there. Where usually when you, like, if this didn't have any sound to it, if I didn't know what the music was, there were those flashing lights, I would think maybe it was like something harder. But I kind of like that it's not. I love that it's keeping that steady kind of, again, sort of White Stripes or what is Raconteurs sounding vibe to it. But the flashing lights and that little bit of like smoke, it feels like it make the space feel really mysterious and cool, and also again feel larger than it is, because it seems like they're probably just in a small room. But because you're just getting these little flashes of it, we as the audience are just picking up little bits of the people, and it makes it just feel it just can make a space feel a lot more interesting and a lot more dynamic and frightening than it may actually be. I get really excited when people are using space and just do smart camera tricks or lighting or whatever it may be. You can create so much out of not much. It's very, very cool. Hey guys, filmmaking's fun. It's really neat to watch. Sorry. I just mentioned the hunger earlier. It is very funny because I always joke that the house or the apartment building in the hunger is made mostly of sheets and doves, because it just feels like at a certain point there's no walls, there's only sheets. So the fact there's a sheet there is really funny to me. And the way, like, Romain's body language, this is so perfect. Because this guy it seems like a little bit taller than him, but the way that Romain's moving is very just kind of smooth and lackadaisical, and it really works for, like, portraying a vampire and a character who doesn't need to prove that they're scary or tough, like, knows that they're the most powerful thing in the room, so they can be kind of very blasé is very cool, and a really great way to do a performance and get a character across without actually having any dialogue.
Driving at night. And hiding the light. Turn the lights down. Turn the lights down. Turn the lights down. Turn the lights down.
Ring from above for a second, like he was in a DJ booth. For just a second, I'm like, Vampire DJ, yeah! I was real excited.
Down. Turn the lights 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 down. Turn the
Great. Whoa. You all eat us. Great little guitar solo there is really fantastic. With the repeating of the turn the lights down, I don't know what it was. It gave me, for some reason, it made me think of Nirvana. It was that kind of, not even necessarily Nirvana specifically, grunge had this very kind of, my dad always jokingly would just call it the heroin verse, which is just like take one phrase, usually toward the end, just kind of repeat it over and over and over again, you know. And that just sort of made me think of that. And then that great shot with like the sheet, again, just the splatter of blood, which makes it look, even though they didn't show you any gore, that alone, you know, obviously the mind makes way more scary things than it's actually in front of you, way scarier in your brain. So you can imagine him getting his throat ripped out, even though you didn't see it, because you just see that the sheet with the red splatter. Overall, a very good song. I really, really enjoyed that beat. That was cool. I thought that was Brigitte. Okay. I thought it was Brigitte in the Sick Boy episode. I thought it was it here. I didn't say her name. From now on, if I think I see her, I'm going to say it. Because every time I'm like, maybe I don't know what she looks like. Maybe I just think I know. And I've been right and not said it twice. So from now on, when I think I see her, I'm going to say it. That was a really cool video. I liked that a lot. And I'm sorry that I ended up rambling way more about the filmmaking than or just vampire movies. Actually talking about the song, that's who I am, I'm sorry. But it was also a very, very cool song. I liked that a lot. Heck yeah. And see, like, someone like Romain is someone that I could have, like, I probably would have never discovered if it weren't for finding, like, Ren and the Big Push. And I'm so happy that I just happened to fall into this weird Welsh boy, and he's opened up so many, like, new doors of music to me as far as things I'm listening to, and just listening to music in general. I went from, granted, I'm now behind on all my podcasts, but that I went from, like, never listening to music again. That was one of the things I wanted to do this year, was get back into music. And then this little dude just, like, reminded me, oh, wait, I fucking love listening to music. I forgot. And then the Big Push being so huge in that, and they were my number one listed band according to Spotify Wrapped. It was It's Alright by the Big Push. So yeah, there you go. That was awesome. I think I might record one more, and if I do, I'm doing Ren halftime. So bye.